is no person that's perfect. And so any organization made up of people, whether it's a nation or an organization, is going to have problems. And a lot of the multilateral organizations have problems and need reforms, including the WHO. But the fact that a human institution has problems does not mean that we should abandon them, particularly when the United States was the architect of so many of these multinational organizations. You know, they came out of, in so many ways, a devastated world in 1945 and a belief by Americans, people with foresight like FDR or George Marshall or Harry Truman, a belief by Americans that the way to avoid catastrophic wars in the future was to create international institutions that were basically channels for dialogue and problem solving. Now, they might not work perfectly, but and just because you've got a channel for problem solving doesn't guarantee you'll solve the problem, but you're much more likely to be able to solve it if you have that channel already set up than if you don't have it set up and you have to create it in the middle of a crisis. So I think the role for multinational organizations, for multinational agreements like the JCPOA, the Iran nuclear deal, for multinational accords like the Paris Climate Accord, I think they remain very, very important. If you think about the big problems that the world is grappling with, they don't know borders. A pandemic doesn't know borders. Climate change doesn't know borders. The global migration crises, in which at any one time 60 to 70 million people might be refugees for one reason or another, that it really doesn't know borders. So if the big problems, or so many of them, are problems that don't know borders, then you have to pull together nations to all offer their best advice so that we can trade best practices and then be more effective in dealing with these challenges.